My friend Mike asked me to build him a home theater PC with one condition only: make it stealthy. Inspired by the challenge, I'm taking it up a notch. For the next 3 nights, I'm living like an urban ninja in this blacked out sleeper van. The mission? Stealth camp on the streets of Los Angeles, uncover some of the city's best kept secrets, and build a PC while hiding in plain sight. This mini-series will be my stealthiest adventure yet, assuming I don't get busted for all the mischief I'm about to dive into. Before we continue, thanks to 1010 for sponsoring today's video. If you love tech, you might be more cut out for a career in it than you think. Maybe you spend hours watching videos, comparing devices, or helping friends understand how things work just for fun. So maybe it's time to actually make the move. Now you might be thinking it's too late for me, or I don't have the money, time, or the right background. But what if there was a way to break into tech without quitting your job or racking up debt? 1010 can help you make the first step towards this change. They offer flexible, beginner-friendly online boot camps designed to get you hired in tech. No experience? No problem. 82% of their grads land tech jobs within 6 months. And if you don't, you'll get your money back after 10 months. 1010 doesn't just teach theory, they set you up with real projects, real company experience, and unlimited externships even after you graduate. You'll gain hands-on skills that employers actually look for. 1010 also keeps you ahead of the curve, training you to use AI in your workflow so you don't just keep up, you stand out. If you're ready to turn your passion for tech into plans for your future, book a free career consultation today. Start learning from just $200 a month. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code and take your first step into tech. This van is insane. Like, I knew it was gonna be an upgrade over the last van I rented, that 20-something-year-old Ford, but this is a quantum leap forward. I mean, it is fully loaded. It has a huge bed in the back that can fit 3 or 4 adults, 2 fold-out desks for work or gaming or whatever the hell you want, a fridge, and a toilet shower combo. Plus, it's a Mercedes Sprinter, so it drives like a dream. I mean, it drives like a normal car. The suspension is so smooth and the ride is so nice. It's got a huge battery that can power everything when the engine's off, and it gets recharged through the solar panels on top, as well as through the engine when you drive the car. I found this van on Outdoorsy, and the guy I rented it from is actually a designer who designed the entire interior of this van. He named it Avocado because it's black on the outside with an interior that's, well, avocado green. I mean, this van could easily sell for well over 6 figures any day of the week. There's just so many amenities. It has everything. If I was ever doing the van life thing and this was my car, I would be so content. Even if it made me crave avocados every day of my life, I would be happy. Which, by the way, I'm very hungry. I am at the Chowder Barge. That's right, the Chowder Barge. Can there be a less appetizing name for a restaurant? I don't know, but I'm not gonna judge a book by its title here, because the food here looks incredible. Almost as incredible as the location of this place. It's literally a restaurant on a barge. It's nestled in this small harbor in Wilmington, California, which is right next to Long Beach. But this floating cafe has been serving up drinks and good eats for the last 40 years. And it's not the most attractive on the outside. Like, I wouldn't take a first date here unless I was trying to avoid a second date. Then again, who am I to judge? Maybe this is a perfect place for a first date or a marriage proposal.
Remember when you proposed to me at the Chowder Barge? Yeah, you put the ring in the chowder. I almost choked on it. It was so romantic.
So yeah, it doesn't have the most curb appeal, but hopefully the food inside makes up for it. After zero deliberation, I decided to order their specialty item, the Chowder Burger. And I'm guessing the Chowder Burger is like what you guys are known for? Okay, I'll do that.
Awesome.
A simple but hearty cheeseburger drowning in a bowl of their in-house chowder. Only time would tell if this was the best or worst decision of my life. That's insane. The burger is really good. It's like, it kind of reminds me of a White Castle burger, just a higher quality version. But honestly, the real star of the show is the chowder. It is so flavorful. There's tons of clam in it, and it's perfectly thick. The waitress was telling me that this dish is kind of like a Loco Moco meets biscuits and gravy. And it's such an accurate description, and yet no dish like this exists, at least to my knowledge. It's crazy. In 1929, there was a landslide in the San Pedro area that caused a bank of beachfront homes to slide into the Pacific Ocean. The neighborhood had been built just 9 years ago, and it was found to be on very unstable land. Experts would later discover that the land was shifting up to 11 inches a day. Personally, I think anything over 4 inches is concerning. I think it's the perfect amount, really. It's been nearly 100 years since that disaster, and you can still see the remnants of it today. Concrete foundation, piping, debris. It's been dubbed the Sunken City, and it's completely off limits to the public, unless you're willing to risk a potential $1,000 trespassing fine. You can clearly see where people have tried to get in. Bending the fence, trying to get through. I don't really see anyone getting through this though. It's pretty narrow, unless you're a little kid. Let's do a quick head check. Not even close. Head's way too fat. There are some trespassers right there. They got through somehow. Oh, maybe they went around to the park. Okay, well, it's been a few minutes since the last shot, and I definitely did not go to the park just now and hop the fence to the Sunken City. I definitely did not do that because that would be wrong. But on my walk back to the van, I did happen to find some archival footage taken from within the Sunken City, and we can review that now. Pretty cool. And what a crazy coincidence. But as you peek over the edge, you see quite a sad but beautiful scene. It's really pretty, even though it's all covered in graffiti now. The first thing I'll say is that it's no surprise this place is completely off limits. There are a lot of steep ledges and cliffs with nothing but jagged rocks below. Apparently there have been dozens of accidental deaths here at the Sunken City since the disaster in 1929, so it's probably best it's not open to the public. But as you can see from this archival footage, it doesn't seem to be stopping people. There's still plenty of locals that find a way in here and just hang out. I've lived here all my life, and I had no idea this place existed before making this video and doing the research for it, but I'm really glad I found it. It's such a small but unique piece of the city's past, and I'm glad that there are so many people keeping its memory alive just by visiting it, even if it is illegal. My next stop was Cyber City, a popular LAN center where I hope to chat with a manager about the experience of running a PC cafe in LA. But completing this little side quest proved harder than I expected. Parking is very difficult to find here. I knew this would happen, but I don't know. I thought maybe on a weekday it wouldn't be this bad. It's this bad. There is a dedicated parking lot for the LAN center, but it's teeny tiny. I don't even think, I'd probably get arrested just for trying to park my car in there. It's passing it right now. There it is. Oh, it looks so cool from the outside. There's probably 3 cars that can fit in that lot. All right, I'm gonna make another round. Can I park here? 2-hour parking, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. No parking 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Wednesday. No parking 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. But in this little patch of street, there's no cars, which is why I'm sussed out. Okay, here's another spot. Here's another spot where there's tons of cars. Okay, I feel better about this spot because there's 2 other cars right here and several cars across the street. And there's another, what looks to be another camper van right there. I think this is good. I think I'm gonna park here. If this thing gets towed, I'm ending the video. And I'll probably film it. Well, that was quick. I walked in there, told the guy behind the counter, who was really friendly by the way, what I was doing, that I wanted to potentially do a quick Q&A with the manager. And he said that unfortunately, we can't film inside there unless the manager is on site. And right now the manager's not there, so I have to come back tomorrow morning, potentially. He comes in at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if I can actually get a hold of him, then it seems like he'd be willing to do an on-camera Q&A. So we're gonna try that maybe tomorrow, or anytime we can, really. It is 10 p.m. and we are going to the barber shop. Let's see. Good, how are you?
Good.
Is it okay to film in here?
Yeah.
This is the N Figueroa. Illegal mezcal. It's not really illegal.
Ilegal.
Illegal. Okay. I should have, yeah, I failed Spanish if you couldn't tell. Pineapple, lime, salted jalapeno, and agave. This is delicious. This is Paper Planes, you said? Paper Plane?
Paper Plane.
Okay, Paper Plane. It's a bourbon-based drink. And you said it also has what? Lemon juice and...
Amaro Nonino.
Amaro.
And Aperol.
And Aperol. Cheers.
You know what?
Ooh, that's really good.
I think I just realized.
What?
I don't think I put the Amaro Nonino in.
Oh, really?
I doubled up on Aperol.
I was distracting you the whole time. That's on me.
I remember reaching for it now that I think about it.
But you know what? It still
So
tastes
enjoy
really
that,
good.
And I'm gonna make you a new one.
Oh my god. Are you sure? Well, thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny because I even tasted it and I didn't really catch it in the moment because it is still.
It's still really good.
It's still good.
You mean it's supposed to be better than this? It gets better than this?
I mean, we'll see. We may have just concocted something new.
I think you might be onto something. I mean, what if this is better? What if you just like completely revolutionize the Paper Plane?
Double Aperol, no Amaro.
This could be a moment in history. I mean, you made the drink, you get to name it.
I just happened to notice this neon sign.
Yeah?
Pretty please.
Pretty please.
Paper Plane.
Ooh,
Pretty
a pretty please would be nice.
Pretty
I'm gonna tell all my friends, dude. I had the world's first pretty please. It's midnight in Los Angeles. The city is asleep, and I long to be very soon. I'm getting tired. I gotta find a place to pull over and camp for the night. Got a stealth camp here. If I park in a neighborhood that's a little too sketchy, then I run the risk of being pestered or even broken into. But if the neighborhood's too nice, then for sure cops are gonna knock on my window at 3 in the morning and kick me out, tell me to move, maybe even ticket me. So a residential neighborhood isn't exactly viable. What could potentially work is a 24-hour parking lot, whether it be a Walmart, which we've done before in previous videos, and that's worked out pretty well, or a 24-hour hospital, or a 24-hour gym, which in Los Angeles, there are a lot. Planet Fitness! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! All right, we are here in the parking lot of a 24-hour Planet Fitness gym. Hell of a first day. We did a lot. We did a lot in not very much time. We were very productive. Still figuring out the most optimal way to set up this bed, which I don't think this is it. Whatever I'm doing right now. Okay. Seems stable enough. These little mattresses, very clever how they do this. Do you think there's pillows somewhere in here? Haha! And most importantly, AC. Good day one, solid day one. Day two, tomorrow is gonna be nutso. I've got a lot planned. It's gonna be fun, but I'm so tired. I'm gonna crash, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.